Alright guys, what's up? It's your boy again, Shinobazu, your gaming anime ninja, and we're here for the first episode of what I'm going to call Twitch Talks. The major topic for this is going to be something I get asked all the time: when should you go full time? And essentially, when should you go full time? What are the numbers? It's something I've wanted to have a conversation about for a long time. A lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers won't have this conversation. I've gone through my contract a lot of times just to make sure that there's certain things I do know I'm not allowed to talk about, but a lot of it is just streamers not wanting to talk about exactly how much I make, so I can't give you an exact sheet of how much I'm making, but I can break down the numbers for me, what they are for me. Admittedly, they might be slightly different for you based on what country you're in, but this is a rough estimate based on United States dollars and Twitch things and stuff like that. What you could expect, you know, your numbers to be as a growing Twitch streamer, whether you're an affiliate, a partner, or anywhere in between. If you're thinking about going full time, I'm gonna do my very best to crunch some of the numbers for you guys, let you know what I think, and all that kind of good stuff. So I personally just feel like this is a conversation that more streamers should be willing to have, or more people should just have in general. I think it's really rough as a streamer just because of the lack of conversation we have about these important things, whether it's people not wanting their viewers to know how much money they make, or you know, people worried about sharing ideas because of competition, things like that. I honestly don't know, and frankly at this point I just don't care anymore. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a very long time, but I wanted to make sure that I was at least slightly educated on the situation before I spoke on it. I won't say I'm a genius on it, but I have been streaming full-time myself for about 6 months now, so I think that qualifies me to be able to speak on how it is, what's the life like of trying to be a full-time streamer. So without further ado, as I said before, my name is Shinobazu. Welcome to Twitch Talks. Let's talk about going full-time. I will pull out my phone a few times during this. That's because I have a script idea on my phone. I'll try not to have it too much on your guys' face, but I kind of just want to keep it as one long continuous thing. I might do some cuts, we'll see, whatever. I will do some overlays, so you won't just see me looking at my phone like this. You'll actually see some interesting, something related to what I'm talking about, hopefully. But first, I'm just gonna go through a list of questions, answer them as best I can, and then we'll just kind of go from there, all right? First up, when should you consider streaming full-time? And to answer that question, it depends. To be completely honest, it's entirely up to you. When it's good for me to be a full-time streamer may not necessarily be when it's good for you. A lot of different things factor into that. One, if you're streaming, you know, if you're taking care of just yourself, if you're taking care of, you know, your family. Some people need things like job benefits, things like that. Me, I'm lucky enough to where I still live at home with family and I don't have much overhead, so my financial requirement in terms of going full-time is very low. And then on top of that, just although I'm not the greatest, I'm getting better at getting out and working out and mingling with other people, so I'm managing to manage my social energy levels as well, which is also really important when considering going full-time. But ultimately that is going to be different for every person. What I will say though, in terms of financially, I personally wouldn't recommend considering going full-time unless you have about, I want to say 500 subs. I would say 500 is when I'd maybe start considering looking into it, and then 600 subs is when I'd actually maybe start making steps towards, if it's something viable for you, if you're not happy with your job or you just don't have a job, you're going to school, whatever, that would be the point in time in which I would maybe consider making the jump to being a full-time content creator. However, there's a lot more to being a full-time content creator than just continuing to stream. So if you happen to just be streaming, you know, 20 hours a week, be at 600 subs, don't just assume that that means you're full-time, or, you know, 20 or 40 hours a week. There's a lot more to it. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what I got next on here. How many subs you should have and for how long? My personal opinion is you should have around 500 subs. You can start thinking about it. 600 is when you should maybe actually really consider it. But again, that's going to change based on who you are. But there's a reason why I say I wouldn't even consider it before getting to 500 subs. For those of you guys who know, one of the big things on Twitch is to move toward being a streamer, to being an affiliate, to being a partner. But there is actually another step after being a partner that I know a lot of people may not be aware of. This is something that is true for most of your big time streamers, everyone from Ninja to Alinity, Dr. Disrespectful, anybody you watch. If they are currently sitting at above that, oh, ouch, that hurt. If they're currently sitting at above that 500 sub threshold, which I believe is about 20 emote slots, then more than likely they've applied for what's called premium partnership. I won't go, actually I'm gonna go into the numbers because I feel like that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to go into the numbers. Hopefully I don't get fined. If I break any rules, I'm sorry, I apologize, but I don't know, this needs to be said. Essentially how it works is when you're an affiliate, you get a basic 50-50 split. Most people know this. So when you subscribe to a streamer, if you do a $5 sub, $2.50 goes to the streamer, $2.50 go to Twitch. And that's how the sub works. Once you reach the threshold of 500 subs, now there's a unique reasoning behind the threshold. It's not just having 500 subs. You have to have 500 subs with over 51% of them being unique subs, meaning not gifted subs. So like at least 255 of the 500 has to be unique, different people choosing to sub to you, not someone gifting 100 or so subs or whatever, because we've seen some crazy gifted sub amounts. But just wanted to let you know that. But basically, once you hit that unique number of at least 500 subs, at least 255 of them being unique subscribers, and if you're able to maintain that for 2 months, you can apply what's called a premium partnership. Normally for Twitch streamers, it gives you a 50-50 split. However, when you reach over the base of the 500 sub minimum with the 51% being unique subs, you can apply for premium partnership, which does come with other rules and stuff with Twitch, but it also changes your split from a 50-50 split for most people to a 70-30 split, which is much more favorable. It essentially takes the streamer from getting $2.50 per sub to getting $3.50 per sub. And of course, this also changes for tier 3 subs and tier 2 subs and so on and so forth. But that's very important. Essentially, if you're at 500 subs and you get that split change, you essentially go from getting, an average of $1,250 a month from Twitch subscribers, just from your subscribers, so $1,250 to $1,750, so an extra 500 boost, which is huge. An extra $500 a month is a big deal. Put in that perspective though, if you were to have 500 subs and you weren't a premium partner, so say you were getting 500 subs a month, you'd be sitting at about $1,250 a month. That's before taxes, so haven't even done taxes on that yet. But if I were to do the math on that, $1,250 a month, divide that by, let's say, 40 hours a week, divide that by 4 weeks, you're probably making about $7.81 an hour if you were streaming 40 hours a week. It's basically minimum wage, less than minimum wage than where you are. So when you getting that switch from a regular partner to a premium partner would take you from making an estimated $7.80 an hour being a streamer, which is basically what you get for working at McDonald's, if not less, because I know a few of my buddies make more than that working at McDonald's, to divide. I only use McDonald's, by the way. Only reason why I use McDonald's is because it's kind of like your first job, so I'm comparing it to a lot of first minimum wage jobs, and a lot of McDonald's in Vegas pay you minimum wage, at least when you start out. So I wanted to essentially compare what you'd make as a streamer to what you'd get working full-time at McDonald's. And of course, got to keep in mind too, this doesn't include benefits. McDonald's does have medical benefits, dental benefits, and things like that you can buy into that are not available. You don't get that from Twitch currently. It'd be dope, Twitch, if you want to set that up. That would be great. Just throwing that out there, by the way. Divide that by 4. So if you were to make the jump from a regular partner, which is about a 50-50 split or affiliate, to a premium partner, you'd go from basically making about $7.80 an hour to about $10.95 an hour, which is a huge difference. It's basically almost $11 an hour, from $8 an hour to $11 an hour. That's a huge pay difference. That's a lot more money in your pocket every month. And ultimately, with that being a lot more money in your pocket every month, that also increases your annual. Every year, you'd be making about $21,000, which isn't great, mind you. $21,000 I don't personally think is enough to live on, even despite the fact that your average American currently is only making about $18,000 a year. $21,000 is not enough to live on, at least not by yourself in an apartment. It is in some places, but not every place. And that's kind of my big thing where I said it's gonna be different for different people. But $21,000 a year, think of how much you're currently making at your current job. This is how much you'd be making if you had 500 subs and held it for 2 months and got premium partner. But mind you, that's as long as your subs count stays there. This goes to the other part of why I said I feel it's important to actually be around 600 subs before you consider it. Is that extra 100 subs gives you a decent amount of cushion. It's very, I wouldn't say it's common, but it is very possible to drop more than 100 subs in a month just based on game change, just based on the game dying, lack of interest. These things happen. Subs are a lot more consistent than donations, but it's not impossible or unheard of to drop 100 subs over the course of a month. It happens to the best of us. When I got partnered, I was sitting at 230 subs, somewhere between 230, 235. I'm currently at about 140. So over the course since I've gotten partnered to now, I've dropped over 100 subs. So it's like having that understanding that you're gonna have that fluctuation, I think is really important to basically prepare yourself mentally as well as financially for those types of things happening. But that's just my opinion there again. But that's based on the information I have. Next question, next. What's the numbers that matters? I kind of went over the numbers that matters. 600 subs, I think it's a safe place to do it. But at 500 subs, you're making $21,000 a year, $1,750 a month. Again, it's gonna be what your overhead is, how much your rent is, how much you're paying for your car, your food, your utilities, all that other stuff. But 17, I think for me personally, 1,700 is like a good place to sit at. Not to mention this is all pre-tax. So you technically have to take 30% of that out just to pay taxes at the end of the year. If you're making $21,000 a year, you won't end up actually paying 30%. And a lot of the other stuff you do for Twitch will be tax deductible. But you still want to just take that 30% out and put it aside so you can pay taxes at the end of the year. And then once you've paid back your taxes, whatever you've paid them, like whatever's left over, that's just your tax refund. That's legitimately, generally how your tax refund works, to be completely honest with you. They usually take out a bit more than they were supposed to, or a bit more not including whatever your deductibles would have been, and then they give you back whatever they overcharged you or overtaxed you, basically. And that's hence why it's called a tax refund. So basically you just put away that 30% every month, and at the end of the month, or at the end of the year, you pay them whatever it is you owe them. You know, you do your taxes, get a tax person. I'm not a tax person, so that was why I said just put 30% as a general safety net. Most people don't pay more than 30% in taxes. So if you put 30 aside, pay your taxes, and then whatever you have left, you can use to buy, you know, that's your tax refund. You give it to yourself. You use that to buy whatever you want, whatever you need, or whatever it is you're looking forward to. The next thing I want to talk about is how do I think you should budget? Personally, the reason why I said is you should shoot for the 500-600 is I personally feel like you should budget, in my opinion, for living at about a $1,200 income, $1,200 income, which $1,200 income isn't much. I know. That's like, again, this is at the 500 mark. Your subs go up and down. And mind you, this doesn't include donos or anything else. So this is just your subs. As your subs go up and down, which does happen as a streamer, as long as you manage to budget around living between $1,200 to $1,000 every month, meaning you keep all your bills and everything you need to pay at under, $1,200, I think you'll be fine. The main reason for this, I think, is that, as I said, if you get premium partnership, you'll be making more than that. You'll still have money aside to put away for taxes and things like that. And then essentially any donations like bits, anything like that, gifted subs, Twitch Primes, whatever, anything like that, you can just kind of put as like in a savings account. one, to hold you over in case things like, you know, get bad, but also for like upgrades, for, you know, you can use donations to help you pay for trips, help you pay for new equipment, help you, generally when people donate anyway, they're donating to help you both support you, but also help you improve your stream, as well as, you know, help take care of you. So it's like everything after that 1,200, when I say that 1,200 should be your budget, I mean, 1,200 should be like, you know, 400 for food for a month. I'm not saying you spend 400 on food, but you may. You know, you may spend 250 on groceries and another, you know, 150 going out to eat. So, you know, 400 on food every month, you know, 100 on, you know, water bill, or 100 on, you know, water and electricity. Probably me, we spend like 200 on electricity. So, you know, 100 on water, 100 on electricity, 100 on gas, internet, you know what I mean? That's another 400. Your other utilities like Netflix, you know, 100 on Netflix and all those other things, 100 for gas in your car, 100 for your car insurance. That leaves you with, you know, 100, maybe 200 for kind of floating money to do whatever you want with. But again, like I said, I don't know what your numbers are. That's gonna be something you have to figure out for yourself. I'm just letting you know, like, if you're at 500 subs, I think you should budget for living on a $1,200 budget. And that way, that extra money is just excess in case shit happens, because it's life, shit happens. You gotta go to the doctor, you gotta get medicine, you gotta get insurance, you may need to travel for an event, whatever. It'd be good to have that extra money there and just budget with the mindset of it's not there. So you're planning on living at a baseline. That way, if things dip, you're still okay. And if things skyrocket up, well, then you're even better. You know what I mean? But that's just my thoughts. Again, it's gonna be different for each person. But those are, again, the reason why I want to bring it up via numbers, so you can personally, based on what you're making at your current job, how much you're making a month, you can decide if going full-time is a good idea for you and what that'll look like for you with your budget and things like that. What are the other ways to supplement my income? This is something I'm currently doing a lot of, again, since I'm personally not at that. You can look for sponsorships, brand deals. Twitch has this new cool thing called bounty boards for partners that lets you basically play certain games. If you try out a certain game, basically you can get paid. It's a sponsored stream. You let your stream know it's a sponsored stream, but you can get paid anywhere from $70 to $100 just for trying out a new game for an hour, trying out the game, letting them know what you think about it. Try not to be obviously overly attacking the game, but like being honest about how you feel about the game, what you like about it, what you dislike about it, etc., etc. And by doing that, it's a way for you to get supplement, you know, an extra 70 there, an extra 100 here. But you can also do that by contacting the devs directly. If you really like a game, you can reach out to the dev directly and see if they're interested in doing a sponsor stream with you in your community. I'm personally going to be doing a thing with Atlantic Records, where I'll be, you know, helping promote one of Cardi B's new songs, and just honestly just kind of playing her new song in the stream, talking to my stream about it. I'm gonna make like a little montage with it just to goof around a little bit, but just, you know, kind of showcasing one of her new songs, and they're gonna be paying me for that. There also a lot of people do like what's called BetterHelp TV, or not BetterHelp TV, not, long story short is you can reach out. You guys see Squarespace, you guys see BetterHelp TV, you guys see Still Series, Elgato. If you use any of those products, if you do any of those things, reach out. Ninja, a big one is Ninja. Ninja uses Uber Eats all the time. I personally use Postmates. So like what I would do is I would reach out to Postmates. Hey, I'm a Twitch streamer. This is my audience. I use your service all the time while I'm streaming. Is there any way we can work out some sort of contract or some sort of brand deal where, you know, I have a personal code with you guys. If anybody uses it, I get a so amount, you get a so amount, and everybody's good. Crunchyroll is another good one. Netflix, I believe, even used to have something like this. I don't know if they still do, but reach out to things like that. Think about the things you use in your everyday. Your Netflix, your, like I said, your Crunchyroll, your Postmates, your Uber Eats, your Lyft, your whatever. And reach out to those companies. Think about things, basically brands that you stand by, brands that you personally use, that you personally would be willing to vouch for, and see if they're willing to do some sort of partnership with you. Those are great ways to supplement your income that doesn't feel disingenuous, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know, to reach out to Black and Milds if you don't smoke Black and Milds. I'm not saying to reach out to Coke if you only drink Pepsi, but reach out to those places, see if anyone's willing to sponsor you or set up some sort of brand deal. And you never know, those are great ways to help supplement, to get basically to help take, you know, essentially just take care of bills, help you keep up if you fall behind, that kind of thing. And That's what I personally do. That's what I'm personally doing to keep my head above water. I'll get into more about that a little bit later. But I think it's important that every partner be looking to do this. As soon as you get partnership, you should be like sending an email to every company for everything that you use, that you vouch for, whether it be Elgato, your mouse, your keyboard, your camera, whatever, and see what's available, you know what I mean? You can always DM me, I might be able to point you in directions. There's a lot of other Twitch streamers and people on Twitter you can DM about these things. And that would be personally, I would say that would be my next step, is to do that. That's how I would grow about supplementing my income until I get to the point where I'm sitting stable at 500 subs. Next, how are you full-time with only 140 subs? This is more of a personal question from my stream and my community, because people ask this all the time. But something I hope that maybe someone could take away from. I am currently full-time even though I only have 140 subs, because once upon a time I had 230 subs, which was really good. It was nice. So over 100 more subs than I currently have. But two, during that time frame where I had 230 subs, I had a insane amount of support from my community. It was probably had something to do along with the fact that I was doing a partner push, so everyone was kind of hyped. There were donor bit doors going all the time. There were donor wars going on all the time. People were really big about supporting me and supporting my stream and supporting my push for partner. And I appreciate all of you guys for helping me out and being there for me to get through that. Outside of that, I don't really have like anything bad to say about that. That was fun. That was great. So I thank all of you guys for all the help and support there. During that time frame, because I knew I was going to be considering leaving work within the next 6 months at the time, instead of just spending all of that money, I put a lot of that money away. I paid off some big bills, or at least as many as I could. I paid down some credit cards and stuff like that. And I focused on putting that money away, so that if I did end up, leaving my job within the next 6 months, I had a little nest egg of something I could hold on to kind of cover my important bills, like my car payment, my gas, stuff like that, food, so that I'm able to, maintain while I build up. At the time, I thought I was going to keep growing. We'll get to that later. And I'm still growing, but at the time I was focused on still growing, but I was like, I'm going to keep this nest egg here to handle bills in case things start to dip a little bit, which does happen, because I'm going to be experimenting with a few new games. And that's essentially how I did it. When things were really good, I put away a bunch of money to help take care of things. I still had debt, don't get me wrong, I still had debt, but I had money aside that was essentially just for my bills. So it's like, I don't touch that money. I use that money to pay the bills to keep the lights on. And I don't necessarily worry about like paying off, not that I don't worry about paying my credit cards, but I don't use that money to pay off my credit cards. I pay off my credit cards currently by making payments and things like that. But that's what I did and how I personally handled that situation. Next, what is your plan to get to 600 subs? Because I am a full-time streamer. So since I am full-time, I need to be at 600 subs in order for me to know that I'm taken care of. Like, I've been sitting on my nest egg, but it has been 6 months, so that nest egg has been getting smaller. So I do need to get to 600 subs. I plan on doing this by essentially just growing I was planning at first by grinding out my game and gaining more notoriety in the game I was in. I'll be honest, it wasn't really working out for me. The game got really stale, especially when it was all I did for a long time, because I didn't go to work anymore. I was literally just logging on and playing the game. Putting that much time, I'm about 5,000 hours into my main game, Dead by Daylight. And after about 5,000 hours, it's grown just a little stale. I'm about halfway to mastery, because it's 10,000 hours to mastery. But in that 5,000 hours, it has been a struggle to find new and exciting challenges in the game. So with that in mind, my big thing now is just going to be learning from a lot of the people around me. I took a trip to PAX recently and I learned a lot from a lot of different variety streamers, but more than just what I learned from them at PAX, I think what's been more important is what I've learned from them since PAX. How they engage with their community, how they engage with other streamers, how they put themselves out there and how they network and how they grow themselves. And I know plenty of people, that are sitting at 1,000, 2,000, 1,400, 500, 600 subs, even though they have, the same size viewership, if not smaller viewership than me. And a lot of what they do is just, one, obviously somewhat having a consistency, which something I'm working on fixing now as soon as I'm done being sick. But Also, they're just very engaged in other social media platforms. So they're very active on their stream, but they're also active on YouTube. They're also active on Instagram. They're also active on Twitter. They're also active in charities. So they spend a lot of time essentially spreading themselves out into different places, which I think isn't a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. And so I've just been taking in what I've learned from watching them grow. And that's what I recommend other people do, is watch what other people do around you. My immediate goal is going to be to try out some different games, see if there's something that I can just enjoy and kind of grind out until this holiday season. I've got a list of games that I'm looking forward to that are coming out pretty soon that I think fall into where my community will enjoy, from MapleStory, Red Dead Redemption, like I think Red Dead Redemption, GTA RP blew up. Although I could never really get into it, it did blow up and was really cool. However, I do think I could probably maybe get into Red Dead RP, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably do some sort of Red Dead Online. So when that comes to PC, I'll be super excited about that, and I'll be playing through Red Dead and going through all that. It's also like rumors that Red Dead will have a Battle Royale mode. So I mean, who knows? If that takes off, that might be my thing. I'm also planning on trying the Black Ops Battle Royale mode. I don't think I'll be trying the Battlefield. I was never a huge fan of the Battlefield game, so I don't think I'll be even trying out Battlefield. I might get Battlefield for the story, but I doubt I'll play Battlefield in terms of Battle Royale. But I'll try out the Call of Duty and the Zombies one, spend some time there. I'm also planning on maybe going back, or probably spending a decent push at getting back into World of Warcraft. I'm also planning on trying MapleStory out. There's a lot of different games that are coming out in the next 6 months. So my goal for right now is just to kind of coast, catch up on some games I maybe missed over the last generation or whatnot, enjoy those, and just try to grow myself up on other platforms, and then have a good base when those other platforms, like on those other platforms, when these other games go out. That's going to be my personal push for 600 subs, is basically growing a stronger base on Instagram, growing a stronger base on YouTube, utilizing Instagram TV. I even made a Vimeo and a Daily Motion account. I'll be uploading videos there, uploading videos to Facebook, things like that. So basically uploading content like this out to different platforms to help other people, but also to expose myself to other people. It sounds nasty, but to expose myself to other people in the sense of like letting other people know who I am, what kind of streamer I am, what kind of personality I am, and then also, what kind of person I am. Maybe they like me, maybe they don't. And I think by doing that, as well as doing a lot of things in town in Vegas, heading out to major events, the esports arena, the new wall arena, I'm planning on doing like a weekly, bi-weekly, or maybe monthly Twitch seminars to help people, like local Las Vegas streamers and things like that. But just essentially constantly by going out, basically networking. So being on YouTube, being here, being there, being here, being there, and basically building a stronger base and learning how to do these now. So when all these new games come out, Fortnite's big. Fortnite's gonna be big for a while. I've even dabbled in Fortnite, I've enjoyed it. But there may be quite a few new games coming. We've got Monster Hunter coming to PC, we've got Dauntless entering full release soon. Whatever those big games are, the best way for me to grow with those new games is going to be to have a stronger influence on all those other platforms. So that's where my focus is now. It's just taking this summer, this time to build my influence on those platforms and learn how to use those platforms properly, so that when I get there, I can utilize those platforms to the fullest to help myself grow once all those new games come out. But that's just my thoughts there. How are you going to stay alive until you get 600 subs? Pray. Nah, basically just by being open in my community. I set up donation goals just to let people know like where I'm struggling at, what I'm working on, to see, kind of reaching out to the community to help out. Again, doing special events in town, helping out other people, kind of more just doing my best to give. And I figured if I give $100,000 worth of content out, maybe I'll get like $1,000 back, and that's just it. So just my goal is just to reach to the point where I feel like I've done $100,000 worth of work, and if I get 1% of that back just from the universe deciding to give back to me, then that's all I'll survive. But like I said, I'm not gonna be on the streets. I've done enough to make sure I can keep my lights on, keep my internet going, keep the games flowing, and outside of that, it's just gonna be, I was always a hustler, so you know what I mean? No matter what, I'm gonna come up with some way to keep afloat until we get 600 subs. Like I said, doing the other things, I have a partnership with Atlantic Records for the Cardi B thing this month. I also have a partnership, or I'm setting up a partnership with a couple other programs like Gatherer, BetterHelp TV, or BetterHelp, and a bunch of different things. So we'll see how it goes. And that's just it. Honestly, it's just being flexible. I've also been on a waffle ramen diet, so I've been, making sure I don't, eat out too much or spend too much money eating out, and things like that, and trying to keep myself tied down on my budget. So it's been working. It hasn't always been working, but it's been working good enough. It's been working good enough, and that's all that matters. But that's my plan immediately, is just to reach out for a bunch of different sponsorships here and there and all around to try to help me maintain until I'm able to basically be at 600 subs and be good on my own there. That's really what it comes down to, and just not being complacent. I think far too many people just get far too complacent, and that's what ends up being the downfall. And so that's my goal, is to not be complacent. And last question, what will change when you get 600 subs? If anything, I don't inherently have any plans to change anything directly at 600 subs. It'll take a lot more of seeing where we're at. Obviously for me, once we get to 600 subs, the next goal is gonna be 1,000 subs. That's I believe 25 emote slots. So that'll be 25 emote slots, but that's also just it allows me to do a lot more. I think the biggest thing, if anything is going to change, because I'll be doubling my income at that point, if anything inherently is gonna change, is I'm going to make an effort to attend an event we're gonna shoot for max once every month, but minimum once every 3 months. So whether that's a PAX, a PAX East, PAX South, DreamHack, Evo, something like that. I'm already hitting a lot of those now, but my goal would be to at least hit one event once every 3 months in different parts of the United States to actually have a chance to meet some of my viewers from around the country, and maybe even do something crazy like PAX Australia, something I'm looking forward to, but also to be involved in those events. So maybe hold panels there, do, meet and greets, things like that. So to actually be involved in those events, not just, meet them, just to, make connections, but to grow myself, travel, see the world, and again, just to kind of meet a lot of you guys who are sitting home watching these videos right now. So I'll try to do gaming, anime. It'll probably end up being more like gaming, anime, something like that. But that's my personal plan on what to do once we hit 600. Not even once, that's when we hit 1,000. So my goal will be to get to 600. Once we're at 600, see what things we can do to change up to get to 1,000, and then go from there. But that'll be my major thing. I did want to mention one quick thing, because I didn't mention this earlier. I didn't think I read the question right, but if I were to try to get to 600, other things I'm going to try to do to get to 600, subathons, streamathons, giveaways, sub days, sub movie nights, sub influence, having subs vote on animes for me to watch, to review, or do reaction to, things like that. Just to try to do things like that encourage people to sub, but also give people a benefit for subbing. Being able to play games with me, being able to kick it in Discord with me, being able to, help me pick out animes to watch, stuff like that. That to be a little bit more involved in since you're doing a little bit more than your average viewer and helping support me, give you a little bit more involvement in how the stream grows and how I grow as a streamer and things like that. And also how the community grows as a whole. So that's just my thoughts there. And that's pretty much the real talk that I had for Twitch talks, at least, or for the numbers. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the numbers a lot. And so people are always kind of confused, is my streamer full-time? Well, why aren't you full-time streamer? And so on and so forth. And so I just wanted to give you guys a bit of breakdown of what it actually takes to be full-time, how much they're making, how much they probably need to be making, and then how that money can even be distributed out. So you know what I mean? But that's just my thoughts. That's just how I currently feel, what I was shooting for and why I was shooting for it. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you guys want to share about, or if you guys are watching this video and want to ask me some questions, there's a good chance if you're watching this video and you saw this video recently in your sub feed, there's a good chance that I actually just went live, because I usually go live right after these videos go up. So if you just finished watching all this and you want to ask me some questions live about going full-time or anything else like that, please feel free. there should be a link to my Twitch, or you know how to spell my Twitch name right up here. Or you can see me on pretty much every social media right down here if we faded that over properly. But I just want to thank you guys for taking time to watch this. If you guys have any other questions about being a full-time streamer that you guys would like me to do a video on next time, please leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to help. Fully feel free to reach out. You can DM me on Twitter, you can pop in my Discord, send me a DM on Discord, or just ask me in the general chat on Discord, or like I said before, hop by the stream. But either way, I want to thank you guys for watching. I've had a great time filming this. Hope you guys had a great time being here. Until next time, my name is Shinobazu, your gaming and ninja, and I'll see you guys later, alright? I love you. Bye.